Okay, we are live. Good morning.
Yay! We're back.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Roundtable.
Yeah, you forgot where you were, didn't
Yeah, Enchantment Broadcasting.
you? You've had a morning so far.
Yeah, so far. He's Randy Lynch. I'm BJ Ramirez, and today we are joined by.
Taylor Paul. Yeah.
It has been a long time coming. We have been wanting to get him on for a while, or he's been talking about it for a long time. So thanks for coming out.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, every time it would come up, I'd be like, yeah, I got to give him a call. And I'd take a look at your schedule and say, oh, he's not even in town for a while.
Oh, yeah.
So what's been going on lately? What you been up to?
So got here in September and just been trying to work my way into the scene and playing around town and getting in where I can, and been doing some gigs on the weekends. This next weekend I'm going up to TRC to open up for the Cast Outs.
Awesome.
Cool.
Great band, great blues band. And then every couple months I go home and play in Carlsbad. There's a great brewery, Milton's, down there that I like to frequent at.
We have sound.
Yay!
Good.
We don't take a chance on the show where we had no sound.
Yeah.
About partway
20 minutes
through.
in, we didn't realize there was no sound.
No, that's a bummer. And just been trying to put together what'll be my third record, and been putting out dropping singles here and there, and got a music video wrapped up a couple weeks ago. So I'm looking forward to hitting it hard this spring and summer, and just seeing what happens.
Cool. Yeah.
That's great.
I was dropping singles a couple of weeks back, but they told me, "Sir, this is not a strip club. It's a library." So I think it was a different type of single I was dropping.
Got 'em.
Hey, the librarian was really happy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're brand new to Cruces. You haven't been here all that long.
Yeah, about 5-6 months now. So yeah.
There has been an influx of musicians coming in from all over. It's like I don't know what brought them out. It's pretty cool.
Mhm.
There's so many new faces coming in. A lot of them are from Albuquerque, and we know why. But
Yeah, we're not even going to go there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and the thing is, I talk about, we've got, as far as I'm concerned, quality of musician. We've got Northern New Mexico beat, and
LA beat.
It's not over the top, because it's not across the board, because I've met some really good musicians who moved down here from Albuquerque. Some that are playing, some that are sitting there saying, well, I'm getting a feel for it. I'm going to play if I feel comfortable. Feel comfortable. It's this is a great place to be to do this.
Yeah, I think I was tuning in to one a while back, and you're talking about you're from
LA.
LA,
Mhm.
and
LA
you're
area.
saying that you were actually having an easier time getting in down there. The process was.
Oh yeah, because if you had a decent singer, a semi-decent singer, you were in, because there were so many places we go out and listen and go, what's going on here?
Mhm.
And then we'd hand in a tape and they go, yeah, you guys are in. So
Yeah.
but out here, totally different process. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, well, you're good, but see some of the other guys we got here.
And you got to find your niche, because
Yeah.
no matter how good you might be, there is some element better at.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to learn that myself, because I hear certain certain performers, and I kind of sit there and say, what the hell am I doing? I need to get out of this. And actually, you're one of them.
Well, I mean, I appreciate that, but I also don't like that. It makes you feel, because I obviously very much still feel that way too, and definitely still learning how to be more comfortable on stage and let my, obviously more of a quiet, introverted person, and learn how to flip a switch and become alive and engage with the crowd in a better way that I see.
And I've watched that. I've watched that change in you.
Mm-hmm.
From the I was at an open mic at Little Toad, and you came out, and I'm like, who the hell is this? Because you start playing, I'm like, this is unbelievable. It's very cool that you play, especially when you get into some of the intricate finger picking that you do on some stuff, and I'm blown away by that sort of thing. If I ever get there, it's years in the future. I'm very happy with what I'm learning right now, but there's a part of me that wants to do it all. I think that's true for every musician.
Yeah, that's what pushes you. Yeah, keeps you going.
So since I've talked you up, instead of sitting here and really getting into stuff right
Yeah,
off the bat,
let's start.
I'd love to hear you play something.
Let's hear something first.
Yeah, you were kind of messing with your noodling a little bit before we started. I was like,
that's
I
how
gotta hear
he
that.
checks his guitar. Good Lord. It's like, oh, it works. Yeah, it definitely does.
I'm not used to singing at 8 o'clock in the morning, so you're gonna.
I
bear
know.
with me.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's a
hard thing
challenge,
to get
isn't
used to.
Cool. Well, this is, I was just a guitar player for many years, and I played in like heavy metal bands and stuff like that. So, I was very much in that world for the majority of my time being a musician, and
I would have never guessed that.
No.
yeah, playing 7-string guitars and
Oh
really,
my gosh.
but different world. But my dad was a musician, and he's a bass player and a singer, and he played in variety bands over the years. So I was always around all the old music. But when you're younger, you want to be you're away from all that. And then I really fell in love with John Mayer 6 or 7 years ago, and that was a great way to tie in new music but with ties to the old.
Right.
And I really liked that, and that kind of connected the dots for me, and that was what really pushed me to start singing and playing in a certain way. So I'll play one of his songs I like to play.
Cool.
No, I'm not colorblind. I know the world is black and white. Try to keep an open mind. I just can't sleep on this tonight. Stop this train. I wanna get off and go back home again. Lord knows I can't take the speed it's moving in. I tried my hand, but honestly, we'll never stop this train. Don't know how else to say it. I don't want to see my parents go. One generation's length away from fighting life out on my own. Stop this train. I want to get off and go back home again. Lord knows I can't take the speed it's moving in. I tried my hand, but honestly, we'll never stop this train. See, I'm so scared of getting young. I'm only good at being young. So I play the numbers game to find a way to say that my life's just begun. Had a talk with my old man, he said help me understand. He said turn 68, you renegotiate, don't stop this train. Don't for a minute change the place you're in. Don't think I could've never understand. I tried my hand, but honestly, we'll never stop this train. Once in a while, when it's good, it'll feel like it should. And they're all still around, and you're still safe and sound, and you don't miss a thing. Do you cry when you're driving away in the dark, singing, stop this train? I wanna get off and go back home again. Lord knows I can't take the speed it's moving in. I tried my hand, but honestly, we'll never stop this train. We're never gonna stop this train. We're never gonna stop this train.
Very nice.
Oh my. That was so good, man.
Yeah.
At your hands.
Yeah, that's I guess kind of a unique thing to him. I mean, lots of people do have their own take on a finger style thing, but that was definitely what appealed to me because it's obviously has a rhythmic element.
Yeah.
So when you're playing by yourself, it kind of adds a little something too. But yeah, it's like that's the motion.
Yeah.
Like a flick.
Yeah.
And it's just like a
You're making that impact on the strings, which is cool. It gives it a really good sound.
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, that's all for us today.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
Well,
Jeez.
so you said that you did a lot of other, when did
Different
you
music.
know this was what you wanted to do? When did you know?
I mean, growing up around music, like I would always go to my dad's jam sessions, and there's pictures of me, 4 years old on the corner of the stage with a little toy guitar and toy microphone. They let me pretend to perform with them, and of
Right.
course everybody thought that was cute. So I really had fun with it back then, but that was just kind of for fun, and then I got away from it, and then it was like 12 or 13 when I was like, I think I want to play the guitar. Can we go get a guitar? And he bought me a
Damn.
little Squire Strat, and
Oh man, starting
That's
off
where
with
it
a
began,
good
yeah.
one.
but those first few years are absolutely an uphill battle, you know.
Yeah.
And it's really hard not to get discouraged from time to time. So that was part of what I thought was really cool here, getting to know you and knowing that you're,
Mhm.
new to the world and learning how to cut your teeth on it, and that's really inspiring. That's cool.
Oh wow. Well, thank you. That's
Yeah.
I get this idea in my head that everybody's rolling their eyes and saying, "Oh, he's cute. He'll go away soon."
No,
No.
not at all. Not at all. We everybody has that one, just something different that inspires them.
Mhm.
And my father wanted me to be a percussionist because he was a conga player.
Mm.
So he bought me a set of drums, but I didn't really take to it. So then I got a guitar when I was 8, and he was very encouraging. It's just, I was playing baseball at the time too, so I stopped.
Yeah.
And then you pick it up again around 12, stopped. I didn't really get serious until I was 21.
Mm. Oh wow.
So, and then even then it was like for a little while stopped because I got married and she didn't want me to. And then I got divorced, started up again, played in a band for a while,
Mhm.
got married again, had 3 small kids. So I couldn't do anything there. It was like,
Yeah.
and then about 5-6 years ago is when I moved out here in 2013, I started playing again. I
Right.
started playing at church, and it was only about not even 2 years ago when I decided I am going to get back to this because singing and performing was my thing.
Yeah.
With
Mhm.
cabaret shows and different things. So, and then he came out to open mic and started playing. And
Yeah.
I will admit, the first time he played, he struggled,
It was rocky.
but he got out there.
Yeah.
He did it.
And we all
And-
know how difficult that is.
Exactly. And it didn't help that his instructor was right in front of him with his phone doing, I'll laugh. Constantly,
Oh,
it was
God.
great. First time he's up in front of people playing a song, and his instructor,
So
Damian,
wrong.
is sitting there with his phone like this, and he's encouraging him, but,
Mhm.
and my wife looks over and goes, who's that guy? I go, his guitar instructor. And she goes, oh, that poor guy.
But I think
But, yeah.
think Damian's a really cool guy. And
Oh,
I
he's
was
a great guy.
bummed that I was out of town and missed his recital at
Oh,
at
it-
Art Obscura.
Oh, yeah. That was
cool.
fun.
it was so much fun.
Yeah, I'd never done anything like that before, and basically, I decided that if I come across as stupid, that's fine. I'm gonna make sure I know what I'm doing a little bit. So I just asked him, says, "What's the recital?" He's like, "Okay, this is what we do. This is how we're laying this out." Okay, And yeah, it was neat to see everybody out there. And we've talked about this with the way
Yeah.
that Damian teaches. Every one of his students sounds different.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a case, usually it's a cookie cutter sound. They all
Yeah.
have a basic same
Yeah.
sound with the same teacher. And with him, he is the one that adapts to the students.
He's a little better deciding, or
Yeah.
seeing what they like and what their inclinations are, and
Yeah.
developing that.
Because everybody had even the like the very because he started with his students that have been here with him the shortest amount of time,
Mhm.
and then it progressed. But everybody had it just sounded like it wasn't like everybody was using the same style, same sound, same pattern.
Yeah.
Everybody
Right.
had something different there, and it was just
Mhm.
great to hear.
Yeah.
It was really cool to hear.
Well, his first student had been with him less than a month
Yeah,
Oh, man.
and got up there and played. And it's like,
that's tough.
yeah.
he
That's
got up there
really
and played
cool.
something, and it was fun. But he had fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the cool part.
And it's, he was a little halting. That was it. Everything else, this kid was on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be
fun.
something as he gets into it a little
Mhm.
further.
I really like the way he did it, and he shows so much pride in how they did. And, so I was waiting for Damian to say okay and let him play, and hoping he was gonna play.
No.
No, he didn't.
He's funny that way. He doesn't get up and play too much at other people's stuff, even open mics. He tends to say like, "No, I'm just here to listen,"
Yeah.
and that's cool. I love it when he gets up and plays.
Mhm.
Just like I get excited when I see you're there. I was like, yeah, cool. And you did something different last time I saw you at Little Toad. You got up with a keyboard.
Yeah. Definitely not. Don't call myself a keyboard piano player at all.
Hey, you pulled it off.
Yeah,
man.
pull it. We wouldn't have known. We were like he said I didn't know he played keyboards. I was like, well, apparently he does.
Yeah, it's been in like the past 5 or 6 years that I started tinkering with it, and then in my recording at home, I have like a MIDI keyboard that I would use to
Right.
like help program in some synthesizer bits and stuff like that. As
Mhm.
time went on, I kind of got a little better feel for it. I definitely think of it differently than an actual piano player does. Like I'm just thinking of it in terms of chords, like a
Right.
guitar player does or whatever. So I don't really, but
It's more of a tool than an
Yeah.
instrument.
yeah, I'm just playing chords. I'm just playing really straight stuff, and
Mhm.
so it's good enough that I can kind of write a song here and there on it. So I'm like, that's cool. And then
Yeah.
my girlfriend Liz, she's plays the piano too. So I was
Yes.
like, I'll just bring
Yeah.
the keyboard, and we'll just both do a keyboard set. So
Mhm.
That's cool.
it worked out.
Yeah, that was cool.
Thank
It was good.
It was neat. Yeah. If you're gonna bring a keyboard, you want to make sure you get the most use out of it because most of those are not that easy
Yeah,
to move
definitely.
around.
It's
We
not.
saw a guy at Amaro one time, brings out a keyboard, takes the sets it up, played 2 songs, and yeah, I'm done. Thank you very much, and put it all away.
Yeah,
I was
that's
like, dang.
that's might not be worth the trouble.
Yeah.
He apparently for him it was. I was like, wow, that was I think he said it took longer to set up than he did to actually play.
Unless you can play the song on a 25 key keyboard or something.
Oh,
yeah.
Like the big deal.
Yeah.
That's a
Or what were we talking about with Truman a couple of weeks ago? Talking about keytars. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, and then not too long
I'm
after,
so glad that time period is done.
not necessarily because Hubbard's posted and he has one there. He just
Oh,
got
no.
one in.
Oh no!
mm,
Please don't start this again.
I know.
I was happy to see the age of the keytar go away.
Yeah,
that was a rough musical period.
it was used to death, especially in the 80s. The
Oh, yeah.
80s, it was a really big thing because synthesizers were like, I remember one time they told me about a band. I think it was Depeche Mode. They did a complete album all with synthesizers, no guitars, no bass. And I looked at her like, and you're saying that like it's a good thing.
yeah, they definitely were pretty heavy-handed on
Yeah.
all that technology as it came
Yeah.
out. But
When
I
it
mean,
came
you
out, it
can't,
was
can't really
insane.
blame them because it's new and fresh.
Oh yeah, and they always manage to stay pretty well cutting edge.
Yeah.
So many people. Yeah, it sounds like the video with the cat playing the keyboard.
Yeah.
I have a back home. I have a Yamaha DX7
Oh gee.
and a Roland D50.
Oh my
So
God.
those are pretty. Those are big ones from that era.
Yeah.
They're it's pretty old tech and it's a big clunky thing, but it's
Oh
got
yeah.
it's got a nice feel to it, and they're
Yeah.
pretty cool.
It's got a
Yeah.
good sound.
What I really wanted is a Roland Juno 60, but those things are like, you know, years,
Mhm.
10 years ago, you could probably get them for $400, and now they're like $3,000. You know?
Yeah, you've got to find it first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
that stuff, the 80s got cool again, kind
Yeah.
of, and so
Yeah.
all that stuff is way more
Mm-hmm.
desirable now.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, I think forgot there's a guitar brand that an unknown one, but they put out a whole line of 80s style guitars, the neons, all the color, just right out of the 80s. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
He's probably going to do well with these.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of the vintage stuff is
Yeah.
hitting hard.
Yeah.
And signature guitars are hitting hard. And I'm like, okay, that's all great, but you realize how much you're paying for the name.
Yeah.
And as I'm noticing, as I get more into this stuff, the musical instrument side of things, it gets expensive really fast.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get a guitar without being too expensive, but then you got to look at, well, now I want 50 pedals
Yeah.
with different sounds.
Oh no, not if you do it right. You go to I still use my Line 6 FX100.
Yeah, and when I play, I'm gigging with a Fractal Audio
Yeah.
X8, so I've always been into
Yeah.
the Line 6 pods
Yeah.
and the Fractal
Yeah.
and stuff. It's just so much easier.
So I've got
Line 6 is a really good brand. It's the first
Yeah.
wireless microphone that I ever got that worked right.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of DJing, especially car shows, which means outdoor long
Yeah.
distance stuff.
Yeah.
So that's a great brand.
Yeah.
I actually only own one pedal. I've been really, really good. And Sweetwater put it on sale for $18. So I've got a little Behringer graphic equalizer
Oh, nice.
pedal.
that's good. That's a necessity.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm not gonna be an electric guitar player. I'm not gonna be doing a bunch of this stuff, so I don't really need that much. But with the graphic equalizer, I can get a real cool old time AM radio sound out of that
Yeah.
when you kill all your highs.
That's
Mhm.
cool.
And so you moved out here from Carlsbad. Why
Mhm.
did you decide to move to Cruces?
So my friend and his wife, he's like my best friend, and we grew up in Carlsbad together. And he moved out here like 5 or 6 years ago, and they just recently bought a house, and they had a spare bedroom, and they offered it to me, and said, come out and get started. And so they've that's been a really good resource for me. Hopefully, be getting into my own place here pretty soon, but that's been cool. Was out of school for a while. School's not really my thing, but I would like to get a degree to say I have it. So I got back into school at the start of last year, and been doing that, and hopefully I'll graduate in December. And
What are you
Cool.
studying?
marketing.
Very
So
cool.
That kind of ties
It
into
fits, yeah.
Yeah, that
kind
fits.
of ties into what I'm doing otherwise. And I knew there was a cool music scene out here, and so I wanted to try my hand at that. And just living in a little small town all your life, you kind of forget that there's so much more out there.
Right.
And it's been great to make more friends that are my speed, and just
Yeah.
it's been good. It's been a welcome thing so far. I think this is a really good place to be. Probably one of the better places in New Mexico for sure. I don't think
Preaching to the choir, man.
yeah, I don't think Albuquerque
Yeah.
is the place for me. My brother does live up there, but yeah.
It's a fun place to visit, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it's and for me, it's like I'm coming from Southern California, so to me, this is a small town.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like that's okay because I hear you're not the first person to say that. Got tired of living in a small town, so I wanted to come up here, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, have you ever been to Carlsbad?
Yes.
Yeah,
I've
you
been
know
up
what
there.
he's talking about.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I get it because
Uh,
I had a company that I had to did IT up there, and so I went up there a few times, and it's like, wow, this. Oh, I turn around, I missed it.
Yeah, it was even, majority of my childhood, it was much smaller than it is now, but
Yeah.
they were part of the Permian Basin, all the oil and
Mhm.
gas really
Right.
blew up over
That's
there. And that, there man camps popping up all around town, and people
Mhm.
coming into work, and
Yeah.
the price of everything is jacked up, and it's
yeah.
kind of really changed gears. But there's some charm to it. There's the Pecos River runs through the middle of town, and there's
Right.
a beach,
Sort of,
that
yeah.
we call the beach.
Yeah.
So there's some charm to it for sure. But
Yeah.
and my parents are still there and
Oh,
stuff.
wow.
But this is still a smaller town. People
Yeah.
know it. People, we know
Yeah.
everybody, but there's a lot more going on, and there's
Mhm.
a vibrant art scene, which is great, and
Yeah,
creative
it's-
scene. So it's a good middle ground.
Yeah, a lot of our creative scene used to be kind of underground.
Yeah.
So yeah, I grew up with the narrative. Oh, music. There's no music in Cruces.
Mhm.
There's no bands out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were, but they weren't getting any notice,
Yeah.
and that's changing. I mean, and the weird thing is, this is after the shutdown of virtually all our bars. We
Yeah.
have basically one bar, Palacios. We have a lot of breweries. We have a lot of wineries now,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
bars the best in this
Not
town,
really.
Yeah.
and yet the music scene has flourished.
It was a period of time where, man, you had music everywhere. It was. I did one show at during the when the pandemic was starting up, and they had tents everywhere.
Mhm.
Ruby Tuesdays had something.
Yes.
Farley's had, so it was like there's
Mhm.
always something going on.
Oh,
And they were
God.
doing everything they could to bring people in. So everybody, there was a place to play all the time.
Yeah, Dick's
Mm.
Cafe built a permanent outdoor patio area, specifically for dining and for music.
Nice.
So, yeah, and that's a burger joint. It's a Greasy Spoon style a burger joint in town, and they did that. So, yeah, everything has changed from what it used to be out here.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, that'd be a really good segue into what's going on in the area.
Yeah.
Except we're about 25 minutes in, and I really want to hear you play something
Yeah.
else.
So while he gets the list up, let's hear something else.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So.
Yeah. Did I mention we're just like play something?
Yeah.
Daisy Blue,
Yeah.
her big line is "Dance, monkey, dance."
So this is an original, and it's on my record.
Awesome.
It was first part of 2019. I got diagnosed with cancer, pretty wild, and so I had a pretty hefty battle with that through the majority of 2019, and thankfully I came out the other side and
Wonderful.
had a lot to write about,
Very
so
cool.
this is probably my favorite song that I've done so far. It's a little sad though, but it's about being 25 years old, so call it 25.
There you go.
I'm 25 and barely alive. Is there something left for me? I'm 25 and barely alive. Is there something left for me? All this time I've waited for my moment to shine. Oh Lord, won't you take these tears from me? They fix this thing in my head, but they can't fix my heart. They fix this thing in my head, but they can't fix my heart. All this time I've wondered, does the pain ever leave? Oh Lord, I don't have much left to give. I see her in everything that I try to do. I see her in everything that I try to do. Maybe one of these days I won't feel so lonely. Oh Lord, won't you give me some peace? I'm 25 and barely alive. Is there something left for me? I'm 25 and barely alive. Is there something left for me? All this time I've waited for my moment to shine. Oh Lord, won't you take some tears from me?
Very nice.
Wow.
Like it.
Thank you.
That's great.
Man, nobody at 25 should be able to write something like that. That's gorgeous,
Yeah,
and that's
that's-
painful all at
yeah.
the same time. Yeah.
But it's
Hey.
something that you're able to draw on, and I think that's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you take it, use it to, and it was. Is it more of a healing, or just you getting something out, or is it what is it to you when you write something like that?
Yeah, I guess it feels good to share, to get it out, and I think getting it out like that helps you to start to heal from it more.
Hmm.
And it's just like having a good conversation with a friend, like that kind of does the same thing for me. Like getting it out there and hearing it aloud and kind of getting behind it, it helps you to move on from it, and also, yeah, it just makes you feel a little better. That you put it out there and then did it in a certain way, that it's not just it's pretty. I try to make it a good balance of like being pretty and but being real, and trying to walk that fine line of it, of trying to make a good song out of it, something good art.
Yeah, I like the word honest, and that is definitely honest.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very nice.
Thank you. You've played that before, and I love the song. I had no idea the backstory behind that. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, of course.
I know that's not always the easiest thing to talk about, stuff that you went through.
Yeah.
But I know from experience that this sort of thing does help.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. Yeah. And musically, it's like a folk song. It's like a verse refrain, just boom, 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 boom.
Mhm.
And it was I really liked the movie Inside Llewyn Davis. Have you ever seen that? What's the name of Dave Van Ronk is the real life guy, the singer that they based it off of.
Right.
But that was understanding the folk music and stuff like that. I thought was really cool. So
Yeah.
I was watching that around the time I wrote it, so that's kind of where some of the spirit of it comes from.
Yeah.
So the style that you do now, you said you did heavy metal for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and then
This is not heavy metal.
What made what happened? How did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just got connected with some artists that I really liked that kind of tied the music that I heard growing up and my initial learning on the guitar to where I was now. And then, in doing all the heavy metal stuff, that was really where I kind of cut my teeth on learning how to record myself and write songs and stuff. And I was like, kind of got to a point where I was like, it would be, I've always wanted to sing, very shy, really hard thing to get into later.
Mhm.
But I was like, well, I mean, I'm pretty good at the music part, so surely I can just kind of wing my way through it. And then it was like the idea of writing songs in a different way where you can just sit with an acoustic guitar and convey something instead of having to have two guitars, bass, drums, and the production or whatever. Whereas like heavy metal, it's like you have to get the thing as a whole. Like whereas
I want to express myself. Where's my roadie? Help me set up.
Yeah.
Where it was just kind of exciting, the idea of being able to break it down to something as simple as this and share something. And obviously more contemporary music is more accessible for most people, so it's easier to get out and play and make a buck as well. That's not my full intention with it, but there's definitely more of a life to it, in a different life than the life of someone who's just in a band like that and they just play very sparsely or try to go on tour or things like that. So definitely shifted gears a little bit.
But you've also seen the reaction that people have around her.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, you've been out to the open mic at Little Toad, and they're it's been kind of laid back here lately, although I think the college kids are coming back, so it's going to change the energy level in the room.
Mm-hmm.
You've been there when it was, the energy was way up, and you get up and do your stuff, and everybody is right there paying attention to you, and they're focused on what you're doing.
Yeah,
that's a great thing about music today and about this area both.
Yes,
is that it doesn't matter what you do, people are going to pay attention.
Yeah, and that's definitely something refreshing and new compared to my experience back home, whereas there's not very much interest in local talent around there, so it's just a little bit different. But yeah,
that's too bad, because I'm sure there's probably some hidden talent.
There is, and there's like been some new things in the past like year or so that they're kind of working up some stuff and shedding a little more light on thing and making pop-up events and encouraging some people around. But no, at least it's starting to head in a better direction than it was. But
Cool.
yeah,
Well, that's a good thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I know as far as I can tell, for the hub of music down here in southern New Mexico, it's very centered in Las Cruces. But you know, there's artists in Hatch, there's artists in TRC. You're from Carlsbad as well. These smaller towns that are kind of like satellite towns. Not to reference Dave Matthews or anything, but
Right.
yeah, it's this whole area that's kind of interwoven a little bit, but still kind of spread out. Wow, I feel like I just went into a Bill and Ted speech. It's like old and it's also like new.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm dropping the PBS voice because, man, when you play stuff like that, it's like your voice.
Yeah.
You just kind of want to drop your voice a little bit. Yeah, that's really nice. We have a bunch of events coming up this week. One of the things is you're playing for the first time.
First show this year. I'll be at Don Felix.
You haven't played since a year ago.
Yeah, last year, December. The first week of December was my last. And I'll be out there again at Don Felix. It's been great. I have a few shows lined up there, and then I'll be at the big Mesilla Valley Music Fest this spring will be on St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
And look out, I'll be at NM Vintage Market that day. But this Friday, I'll be at Don Felix 5 to 8 and doing my thing with her.
Yes.
I will be playing my new one.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And it sounds great.
Yeah.
Have you seen this guitar yet?
No.
It is a kit that I bought, a Leo Jams kit. And it took me about, not even a month to put it together and finish it and do anything. This time, the electronics took me like a day. It was a lot faster this time because I knew what I was doing. This is the second guitar I built, but it turned out beautifully the way I really like it. So I'm excited.
That's
to go out and
really
play
cool.
That. Yeah.
Very nice.
And the thing that gets me is like I played it and my wife even looked and said, "Man, that sounds better than your other one." I was like, I know.
Yeah, it's a beautiful sound on this thing. And it looks like a specialty guitar.
It's a semi hollow body, which is it's a Les Paul style semi hollow body. So it's just
no paint.
No, I just stained the front because it had a really nice wood grain. That's the flame maple. So I stained that blue, my favorite color. My wife's like, "Why are you doing?" Because it's my favorite color. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
But
that's reason enough.
Turned out great. So I'm looking forward to playing it, and I'm probably playing that a lot because the sound that I realize I get from it. And plus I was playing my acoustic yesterday and only got about an hour in, and I hadn't touched my guitar in so long. I'm like, wow. I just like, because I actually realized Saturday, I'm playing next week. I thought it was another 2 weeks to go, but it's like we're getting through February fast.
Very fast.
So I'm really excited. So it's been long enough, and that addiction needs to be satisfied.
Yeah. So we definitely want to check you out.
Yeah. A lot more going on too, though.
Yeah, this Sunday at 2 p.m. I'm really seriously thinking about trying to make it out to TRC Brewing Company here in Cruces, because we have somebody playing doesn't come to Cruces very often. I talk about them a lot. Rockabilly Strangers.
Oh wow!
Now it won't
very cool.
Yeah, it won't be the whole band. It's going to be Chris, and it's going to be, and of course they don't have it listed there. His bass player, who he plays an upright slap bass. Oh man, they sound good. And let's face it, rockabilly music is just fun and cool, and they do it very, very well. So they're going to be out at TRC Brewing Company. Ooh, that's political. We're not talking about that.
Not today. This time.
Wrong show. Let's see. What else do we got going on? Oh, yeah. Up in Ruidoso, Brudoso is going on up at Wingfield Park. It'll be the 18th and the 19th. So they'll have bands, they'll have beers, all that stuff going on. Cool. Rio Grande Theater is going to be doing their Space Festival. They're going to be playing Interstellar. Oh, wow. So that's, it's kind of nice to see Rio Grande Theater doing some movies again.
Yeah.
considering that that used to be what they were. They were a movie theater,
Mm.
and it's actually where I saw Star Wars.
Oh man,
As I've now dated myself.
I mean that's cool.
I was not that old at the time,
Yeah,
but yeah, it definitely dates you. Let's see.
I'm
They
looking
changed
for
the way
one
this
that I
looks.
know of that I want to make sure that we put a plug in for. So let me look that up.
Yeah. Rio Grande Theater. This is coming up in March. They're going to be doing the Legend of Robin Hood. ... Sort of. Children's Theater of Mesilla Valley.
Oh,
So yeah, they do some cool stuff. Admission is $10 a person for that. Doors open at noon. Play at 1 p.m. And like I said, that's through the 11th through the 19th. Something to think about in advance as we're getting closer. And yeah, Shadowcast
there
is
you
coming
go.
back to do Rocky Horror Picture.
Oh my god.
Mm.
That'll be Friday, April 15th. I know that's not not the coming week, but you know it's something to be aware of and plan out in advance. And I don't know why they're. Every time I get used to the way they do stuff, they change things around. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Okay. Also, Rockabilly Strangers are going to be playing the game this Friday at 7. So they're going to be in town quite a bit. Boneyard Cantina, that's downtown Las Cruces. They're going to be doing their Drag Loteria this Friday at 7. And I believe, yeah. And of course, because I love saying her name, it's going to be hosted once again by Ivana Bump. That is the coolest drag name. That'll be Friday the 25th, Boneyard Cantina, 7 to 10. Chris Baker is going to be playing out at Rio Grande Winery this Friday at 5. And we were talking about Chris before we came on.
Yeah.
If you've never got to hear Chris, you need to check him out. Another one to check out, Boneyard Cantina, Daniel Sanchez is going to be playing this Saturday at 6. So yeah, he's very cool. And yeah, what you do is you go to Amara Winery.
Yeah.
Saturday at 2.
Yes.
2 to 5, you do their open mic.
Open mic.
And then you just bop a handful of blocks over, and there's Boneyard Cantina with Daniel right afterwards. Lawrence Montes is going to be playing it tomorrow, this Friday at 7. Salud de Mesilla is going to be doing February Rainbow Drinks. I have no idea what it is. Yeah, and they don't say anything. I hate when they do that. They need to get better at putting stuff up there. Yeah, Scott Jasmine is going to be playing this Saturday at 4 at the Rio Grande Winery.
Scott is one of the first musicians I connected with when I came to town.
Is he?
We went out and had coffee, and he's a really sweet guy.
Yeah.
And he just
And he's awesome too.
Yeah, he's a great musician too. He called me last week and said that they were moving back home. So
Really?
yeah,
That's not good.
Yeah,
man.
so I guess his wife took a job, and they're going to be going in the next couple months. So bummer to see him go, but he's a great musician and definitely someone you want to catch.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And especially if he's getting out of here, you want to catch him before he's gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. Dallas David Ochoa is going to be at Little Toad this Friday at 8.
He's also become a good friend of mine.
Good.
He's a great guy.
You know, you've actually you came out here and you connected with the music scene really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was hitting it hard. I was going to every open mic every week.
Yeah.
Trying, I don't know how else to get in.
That's
other than just
that's
show
the
up.
best way to get in. It happened. When I started, I tried to, contact places, and everybody was, booked up. And then, I went to an open mic at Amaro. I went to open mic at Icebox a few times and just had so much fun. I was like, okay. And then when Amaro had theirs, I started going and going. And the next thing I know, I got asked to play.
Mhm.
I wasn't even trying.
Yeah.
So the open mics are the best way to get out there and get people to hear you, and
Yeah.
and it's so much fun. And you meet and you make new friends, and it's been amazing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everybody
absolutely.
here has been very welcoming.
Hmm.
There's
Yeah.
not a lot of ego. I think people are cool.
Yeah. We talk about this regularly
Yeah.
because it's a weird thing. I mean, there are egos. You've got to have ego to a
Yeah.
certain extent in
Yeah.
front of people
Yeah.
with a microphone and do
Right.
something like
Yeah.
this. But everybody's got it in check because
Yeah.
everybody,
You have
Well,
to turn
they're
it off. You have to know
performers.
when to turn it off.
yeah,
Mhm.
they're performers, but they're also cheerleaders at the same time.
Mhm.
And yeah, I've been scolded by a few people before I started playing. Why aren't you playing yet? Well, I know 2 chords, so shut up. I've got a little ways to go before I try anything. But yeah, everybody's great out here. It's the people with attitudes. I can
don't
count
last
on
long.
one. Yeah, I can count on one hand, and you
Yeah.
don't see them very often.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
almost count them on one finger. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
you can. There are too many because but it's like going out. It's fun.
Mhm.
It's fun.
Mhm.
I highly recommend, even if you're not a musician and you like listening to music,
Yeah.
go to an open mic.
Yeah.
You will hear a lot of different things. You'll have a lot of different styles, and it'll be it's a lot of fun.
Well, I met a guy this past Saturday that I'm sitting there talking to him, and he's very enthusiastic. He'd just come out. Turns out his girlfriend is the new waitress at Amaro.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sitting there talking to this guy, and yeah, as enthusiastic as he is about music, plus I'm listening to his accent, and I'm like, oh, he sounds very East Georgia.
Oh,
And so I asked the question, which who knew I'd be asking that question? Hey, do you play? Oh no, I play a little, but not much. I like to sing. Really? Well, maybe we need to work something out to get you up there singing something at some point. He was just coming and hanging out.
yeah.
And we have a bunch of people that do that at open mics and regulars. It's not just, oh, we happen to be out. There are people that they plan their weeks around going to
they
these
wanna
different
come
open
hang.
mics.
That's cool.
So yeah, the support group in this town is amazing. And you know, if you've never been out for live music, and by the way, going to a concert at an arena is not the same thing as going out for live music.
Yeah,
It's very personal.
It's intimate. It's
Yeah, when you're dealing with a crowd where the musician is up on stage making eye
Yeah.
contact with you every once in a while, that's a totally different thing.
if you and anytime you can, like, in a break or after the show, you go up there and shake his hand and say, hey, that was fun, thanks, like,
Yes,
that changes
Yes.
a lot of it when you can, or especially like I do, I'll walk around and I'll notice that if somebody was singing with us, walk around and say hi and say,
Mhm.
I noticed that, like, oh,
Mhm.
and then they it's one
Yeah.
of their favorite songs and stuff like that.
and of course, my favorite thing to do. What kind of guitar do you have?
I know.
Show me your guitar.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the first things I ever said to you
Yeah.
because you were playing that electric of yours, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's John Mayer PRS Silver Sky. So that's kind of a new thing in the past few years, but
yeah.
that's been a great Strat style guitar.
Yeah, I was watching that thing. I was looking like that's double humbuckers on that thing, and it's just insane.
Yeah. Oh, that one is single coils.
Is it single
Yeah,
coils?
it's
Okay.
string. Unless it was another one, but it's probably
Was it which one was the baby blue one
baby blue one?
or blue?
I don't know.
Am I confusing guitars?
Maybe.
It might be.
Yeah. But mainly I'm playing with this one or that one. It's a silver one.
Okay. I'll have to take a look next time and make sure that I'm on the right page. 'Cause, yeah,
You're good.
it gets very confusing after a while. I love the sound on this thing.
Yeah, Larrivee is a company that's been around for a while, but they're not quite a household name, I guess. But John Larrivee is the guy's name, Canadian brand, and I was always wanted a Martin OM28 as my dream guitar,
Mm.
and that's a pretty penny to get started out with, and I was researching, googling up alternatives to that, and this got recommended quite a bit, and found it on the Larrivee forum of people selling it, and that's kind of a risk of buying it on the forum.
Yeah,
Not a whole lot of buyer protection, but
you kind of hold your breath until it gets there.
That was before I got into Reverb.com, which is a good place to do things most of the time. But so I took a chance on this, and it was really been good to me. It's been my number one, and I got this LR Baggs Anthem pickup installed.
Oh, cool!
Which is really what you're hearing when I'm playing. So that's kind of the magic of it, But that's a really good pickup, and it's been a sturdy guitar, and I like the size.
Yeah, it's not big,
it's
so
not,
you can
not
move it around a lot.
dreadnought, but it's got it's pretty good for the finger picking stuff.
Yeah.
You can strum on it and finger pick it, and it responds.
When you have sausage fingers, then you start loving dreadnoughts. So mine's sitting over there.
Yeah.
This one,
but your Acoustasonic, those are really cool.
I love that thing.
Yeah.
Really cool.
I kind of put it to the side because there's an electric element to the sound that I just haven't been feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I picked it up the other day. I was messing with it. I was like, it's fun to mess with, but
Yeah.
it's just for the stuff that I'm writing right now. It's a little
Yeah.
raw and harsh, and
Yeah. It's a little more utilitarian or whatever. Really good for. There's a lot of good for it in terms of traveling and performing and versatility and stuff. But when you are writing or doing something, you probably want more traditional,
right?
Guitar. But
yeah, I like that ring of it going through the wood. That sound that comes out.
Yeah.
So yeah. Drag Queen Alfresco is coming to Salud de Mesilla.
Wow.
This Saturday at 6. Seating starts at 6. The show starts at 7, and of course you know who's hosting that one. We've got basically one drag queen that comes down here and runs stuff, and I know we have several because they used to come out to the OP when it was open quite a bit and do shows out there, and now we've lost the OP, which was a cool club.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. It was funny to. You couldn't label it because everybody was welcome. Cruises, but believe it or not, it was an El Paso club.
Okay.
Guess who is coming back to Pioneer Park? Parkour Generations. It's getting warm enough. They're getting out again.
Oh,
so this Sunday at 10 a.m., they're going to be out there at Pioneer Park. These guys are a little nuts.
Oh, those are the guys I saw one time, and I'm like, dude, take your Ritalin and quit jumping off the building.
Yeah. Yeah, challenges galore, so be ready and to move around. Please remember to look before you leap and respect the space. In other words, we don't want anybody landing in the hospital.
Yeah.
Oh man, Rock House Dive Bar Kitchen Venue. This is El Paso. They have a band coming out. Oh my God. They've got 3 bands coming out. Postmortem, Chemicost, and Killing the Mammoth. They're Slayer tribute bands. Wow. We talked about metal. There's metal, and then there's metal. And yeah, Slayer is definitely. Jim Brewer does a bit talking about taking his wife to a concert instead of a show. And they're sitting there. It's going to be fine. And they were out to see Metallica, but Slayer was opening. It says, they almost lost their lives when the Slayer fans started rushing the stage. I'm just like, Slayer's a little harsh.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't like about the metal shows, or it's like so much of the moshing and stuff.
A little hostile.
I'm not really interested in getting beat up. I'm just here to listen.
You're right.
I know you want to show your enthusiasm, but that's an interesting way to do it.
Yeah. Tonight is open mic at Little Toad, of course, 8 to 10. Karaoke night they're doing tomorrow, starting at 7. Don't forget open mic on Mondays at in Vintage. They're doing that again. I just got notification that they're starting that up again as well. So, and I believe that's Chris Baker and MFB that run that one.
Dave and Tim.
Yeah.
So those guys are goofy and fun and way too talented for as goofy as they are.
Yeah.
And they just love music. They're just out and they're just happy to be there. And it's like, that's really cool.
Yeah. I knew Tim for years as his mechanic. So I'd seen, he'd bring his car in. It's like, I'm going to drop it off. I just need to get my guitar out of the back. Oh, you play? Yeah, I play. He wouldn't give any details. And the first time I got to see him playing was with Daisy Blue. And of course, he's playing this great bass guitar that sounds great. And he plays it very well. And then she stops singing and he gets up and does Ain't No Sunshine.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
that's fun.
This is the dude that I've been talking to all this time. I had no idea he could carry a note, much less sing like that.
Really cool.
Yeah, it's you got to be careful in this town. You never know what you're going to come across as far as musical, and who knows how to do what. By the way, Sebastian Lescombs is going to be playing at the Lescombs Winery. There's a connection there.
Yeah.
He plays piano. Be Friday from starting at 6 p.m. So that's always cool.
Yeah.
I've heard him play before, and damn,
he's very good.
Yeah. It's one of those things. Like, he's been doing that a lot of years. Yeah, Eli James Band is coming to the game, so that's a bigger name band passing through. Um, First Presbyterian Church. That's one of those words I can't say very well. They're going to have music by the Baroque Women this
Ooh.
Saturday at 3 p.m.
Oh,
So that could be interesting to check
Yeah.
out. I think we are just about at
And
the
then-
end of everything except that you've got to be playing somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm playing in TRC this Saturday with the opening for the Cast Outs, and then the next week I'll be back in Carlsbad, and then Sunday, March 6th, I'm playing at it's called Lazarco Studio Showcase. It's just this
Cool.
this guy Nick. You probably seen him at Little Toad. He plays the cello.
Yeah.
He's that guy with the blonde hair, whatever.
Mhm.
He's got a space where they put on just kind of house shows, and there's this other guitar player, Gabby Fuentes, and that's his,
Oh yeah.
his out, and he's wild,
Mhm.
He's classically trained and stuff, but it's his album release show that was postponed, so we'll be doing
Oh
that
wow.
on the 6th out of Mesilla, and then the 12th, I'm back at Downtown Blues Coffee, which is a great little venue.
Yeah, it is, and it's getting big.
Yeah.
Lots of people
Yeah.
are noticing it.
Yeah, that's really cool going on during the farmers market. Then later in the month, March 25th, I'll be at Little Toad. And March 18th, I'll be at NM Vintage again, opening for the Cast Outs again. It's part of that
Yeah.
Celebrate thing. They asked me to do that. And I can't remember the day off the top of my head, but I will be doing something at Salud for the first time.
Cool.
So
That's a nice venue over there.
Yeah, it's really nice.
yeah, my first Chris Baker hosts Songwriter Sunday there on occasion,
Right.
and we did that in December, and that was my first time actually being there. But so it'll be nice to actually go
Crap.
back and
I missed that one.
do a formal gig. So
Mhm.
yeah, so cool, a couple firsts and some fun stuff.
So I've seen Chris doing his Songwriter Sunday thing. What was your feeling about getting up there and doing that with him? Because it's a very different feel.
Yeah.
Because it's basically just the two of you kind of going back and forth,
Mhm.
talking and sharing music, and he's jumping in on the stuff that you're playing, which is a different thing for a lot of musicians out here.
Yeah.
And he's a little creepy at how good he is. He doesn't have to know a song and he can pick up on it real
Yeah,
fast.
well, that's what comes with doing it for as long as he's doing it, for
True.
like he's doing it, is you just kind of learn how to jump in. And I remember hanging out with my dad's bands, and when I was a teenager and was starting to play, and he'd like, "Come on, play," and then he'd try and have me take guitar solos, and I'm like, "I don't know what to play, like what," and he's like, "Just play something, just get in there,"
Mhm.
which I really stressed me out. I didn't like at the time, but now in hindsight, he was helping me develop a good skill of learning how to jump in,
Right.
and so that's a skill of itself. But yeah, it was really cool to do that with him, and it really all be about just your original music and stuff, and yeah, I've really connected a lot with him, and he's a really good dude, and he's passed a couple gig opportunities on to me and stuff, and
Mhm.
it's great because I mean, I love singing. I've loved singing the music that I grew up with and love and stuff. But what I got into it to do was, I really wanted to do my own thing. And so
Right.
that's fun to do things that are celebrating that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he definitely focuses on that element,
Yeah.
on that particular show.
Mhm.
Man, I wish I'd seen that one.
Yeah.
I think he has some more Songwriter Sundays coming up. So I don't know who he has booked for that, but regardless, that's a fun show to catch, especially
yeah.
if you're keen to that kind of thing.
It definitely is.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it gets very personal.
Mhm.
So you're getting to know the person that he's got up there with him, which is it's a neat thing. It's a neat thing.
Mhm.
And talk about a way to make some fans that you didn't have before too,
Absolutely.
because they're not just hearing your music, they're also getting to know some of the back and forth and the feeling behind it, and the experiences behind it. So
Mhm.
very cool. Yeah, I'd always wondered what the other side of that was with playing with Chris up there, because it looks amazing. It looks like a blast, and the sort of thing that you don't get to experience too often.
Yeah, I mean, you've had Dwight and Red back you up before, haven't you?
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, surely you can repeat that on Monday with all
Yeah.
of them. That's they're very accommodating, and I'm sure that would be
right,
a really good time for you. So I definitely encourage you to do that, and they'll find a way to play along with you.
right.
That'd be cool.
I'm gonna have to one of these days get out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mondays are hard for me to get
Yeah.
loose, and
Yeah.
yeah. I haven't been to NM Vintage in a long while
Yeah.
either. So
The other cool songwriting gig that I got to do in December was Tom Foster.
Oh,
Morris, yeah.
Yeah.
He does that thing I guess once a month, and
Mhm.
so that was Scott Jasmine was on that with me.
Cool.
And, Jamie O'Hara,
Oh my God.
and
Yeah.
and there's a couple other guys, but
Jamie O'Hara is awesome.
Yeah.
Make sure you get a good night's sleep before you're around him for too long.
Yeah.
He will wear you out.
Yeah.
he's been frequenting Carlsbad for years, so he was someone that I kind of knew before I came up here. He would go. It's called Yellow Bricks Restaurant, and he was always in there doing magic. So
Yes.
that
Yeah.
was my first encounter with
he's-
them, and then he would come over to Milton and play music. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I remember when he was, the guitar is something he would pick up and play a couple of songs, but yeah, the magic was
Yeah.
his main thing.
I
Yeah.
did a lot of that.
And yeah, some of the stuff that he's doing musically is just nuts right
Yeah.
now.
And I guess they hung it up formally, but he was playing with Dave and Tim for a while.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, and he was actually out this past Saturday at Amaro, and the three of them were up there playing. He pulled out his guitar for a few. Before he was playing his guitar, he's sitting up there, and it was it was Tim, Dave, and Truman were all playing, and he's sitting there playing with them on a mandolin,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's.
and it sounded
Yeah.
so good.
Mhm.
I've got a thing for mandolin anyway. As you know, one of my favorite musicians in this town is Emily Luna,
Oh,
because
yeah.
that's what she plays, and she plays it
Yeah.
very well.
I guess I
So-
haven't gotten to catch her yet. But
Her and Ricky Luna is her husband, and
okay.
I haven't seen them playing a whole bunch.
I did see Ricky play. They had a Dave Matthews tribute night at Vintage,
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
and so I got to meet him there, and he put
he's
on
the
a really
nicest
good
guy
show.
in the world, and
Yeah, very cool.
yeah. I saw him. He came into an open mic where he was trying to practice and get the kinks worked out, because Dave Matthews, the music is not easy to play,
Yeah,
and
especially when it's cold. It was cold.
Yeah.
that
oh
night.
yeah,
It's like-
oh I can imagine.
It's like that every time I play.
Yeah, I'm
But-
extra sensitive to that.
Yeah, if you ever get a chance to hear him playing with his originals, especially with his wife,
But I do,
because I met him while she was away on business, and I was as soon as she came back, and the first show that she came to, they played together. I was like, wow, I didn't know you could smile while you were playing, and you can't stop smiling. Well, his wife was back. He was happy
Yeah.
to. It was kind of a hard time for them,
yeah.
but yeah, they sound so good together, and they have so much fun, and you never know what they're going to do when they're up there.
Mm,
I think the world of Ricky.
yeah.
He actually got me up on stage in the middle of one of his shows.
Oh,
Says,
how
I
fun.
hear you got a song of your own. I happen to have a guitar. Yeah, you happen to have a guitar. You're playing a gig, and now you're going to have me completely go up there and do something that's going to be quality wise way below what you've been doing. Thanks a lot, man.
That's cool.
And apparently somebody was recording it and sent it to my guitar teacher. So
Oh, there you go.
Yay.
Yeah.
When you get a message saying, "Hey, I heard you at such and such place," and you're like, "You weren't there. How the hell do you even?"
Mm,
Yeah, we definitely live in a big brother age in that way. So,
absolutely. That's cool.
so
Well,
we're
it's been long enough. Let's
Yeah.
hear another song.
we're about an hour in. We need some more music.
Cool. This song is called Healer. Another song on that CD. It's getting hard to see. It's getting hard to hear down the hall. I hear them and talk. Is there any future left for me to see? Or am I gonna fade away? And it's gonna be a long, long time until I get to leave this place. And if I'm being honest, I don't think I can ever be the same again. I need a healer, I need someone, I need a friend when I can't run. It's getting harder to see. In the darkness I found light, in the morning say goodbye. I hope to see you again. Can we pretend? Take my hand and don't pretend that it's all still the same. Maybe we were meant to stand on our own, or maybe he's on his way. And I say, and it's gonna be a long, long time until I get to leave this place. And if I'm being honest, I don't think I can ever be the same again. I need a healer, I need someone, I need a friend when I can't run. It's getting harder to see. In the darkness I found light, in the morning say goodbye. I hope to see you again. Can we pretend? I need a healer, I need someone, I need a friend when I can't run. It's getting harder to see. In the darkness I found light, in the morning say goodbye. I hope to see you again. Can we pretend?
Very nice.
Wow.
Very cool.
Thanks.
Day has had a totally different feel, a totally different sound.
Cool.
Wow.
Now you mentioned that's another that's off of your CD. How can people find this?
So taylorpaul.net is my website, and you can also look me up, Taylor Paul, on YouTube, and then my records are on Apple Music and Spotify and all that good stuff. So there's several music videos on my YouTube channel, and that kind of adds another element to what I'm doing. So those are really fun, and yeah.
Very cool.
Damn.
And I've got CDs for sale that I always have at my shows. You're welcome to come pick one up, and surely I can send one to you if you'd like that as well.
Great.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks.
Very
Well,
cool.
He's working through DoorDash and
Yeah.
I guess I should be actually promoting Uber Eats, and that's who I'm driving for
Yeah.
these days. Yeah, that was a strange thing, but as I'm getting used to it, it's actually working well. So
That's cool. That is really cool.
so yeah, if you order one of his CDs and I bring it to your house, remember you can't eat it. So, those stupid commercials.
Oh my gosh, that was like, really? That's the best they could do?
Oh yeah, well, what can you do? Yeah, I'm sitting there watching you play, and I can kind of tell what you're doing. It's like, oh my god, you're like brushing these strings in such a strange way. You're getting that it almost sounds like somebody hitting a turntable. The old style scratching
all
stuff.
the chicka stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a cool sound, man.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, definitely. draw a lot of influence from all the blues guys.
Mhm.
That's the thumb over stuff is very Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got very little of your pick that was showing during that song. I was like, that's wow.
Yeah, I've gone through a bunch of different picks, but this is
Mhm.
kind of the size that I've settled on, and
Yeah.
it's not too thick, so it doesn't pull things out of tune.
Mhm.
But a lot of my friends back in the day, they really like those real thick jazz 3 picks, if you know
Yeah.
that.
Ooh,
And
yeah.
I could never
Oh,
get very
yeah.
comfortable on that.
No, that's everybody talks about getting comfortable with your instrument, getting comfortable with a pick as well. Everybody's
Yeah.
got their different feel, and you've got to find what works for you. Let's face it, not gonna lose anything as much as you're gonna lose picks.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I lost my last pick of the type that I like. I had these other picks that I was using, and it's like I was just miserable, so I had to go up and buy some more picks because
I could buy a bag of 100 of them, and it's
You're there.
like, what happened?
yeah, oh
A
for
couple
sure.
weeks later, they're gone.
No,
Well-
they fall out of your dryer, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's like 12 of them in there, and then your wife is pissed 'cause
and
she's finding picks all over the house.
I saw this ad machine that they're selling,
Yeah.
and I'm just sitting there, not only rolling my eyes, but I had to look through the comments because the comments are brutal. Obviously, a lot of musicians.
Mm.
It was for a plectrum sharpener, over $2,000 for something to freshen your picks, and I'm like, well, first of all, those things don't cost anything. even the more expensive
Yeah.
ones are fairly cheap, and you're going to lose them before you're going to need to sharpen
Yeah.
them. So, yeah, the comments were brutal. You could tell everybody who was a musician because they're just like, this is
Oh,
the
yeah.
stupidest thing I've ever heard of.
Yeah, I have a musician friend here, and I saw him one day, and he was just like doing this.
On
I'm
the
like,
carpet.
what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm just sharpening it up. I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, yeah. Well, there's nothing to these.
Yeah.
They're it's just celluloid material,
Yeah.
and there's not much to it, so it doesn't take much to
If
spin
you
them out.
need to sharpen it, you need to grab a new one.
No,
Yeah.
And
And that's why they sell them in bags of a dozen.
yeah.
well, and think about, if you sharpen a knife, you're really supposed to take it like on the back of a piece of leather, like your belt or
Yeah.
whatever, and you run that edge backwards. To basically what you're doing is you're rubbing off that extra metal and
Mhm.
bringing your point in. And if you can do that with steel, imagine what you can do with that.
Yeah.
That's nothing. So, and yes, I've got picks all over the house.
I have this. Yeah, I know. I just looked. My wife gave me this tin. Keep all your picks in here, and I opened it up yesterday, and there's like,
with my wife. I used to do most of the laundry in the house, and I gave her all sorts of crap because what she would do is leave lighters.
oh,
They would go
yeah,
through the laundry, which
yeah.
really pissed me off because I'm like, I got to catch those before they go through the dryer because that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'd give her grief about it. And I'm like, the nice thing is I'm doing laundry for myself. Nobody sees what's coming out of the laundry anymore. And I won't tell you how many picks I'm pulling out
Oh, yeah.
every time I do a load. Even if I'm doing something that's not, shirts or pants with pockets.
Oh yeah. They get caught up in places.
Yeah. I'm doing my sheets today. Why are there 3 picks in your bedding? Well,
When you open the dryer and about 4 picks fall out, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
man. And then my wife's like, I heard that.
Oh man.
I have the same. I use the same. I've been using Clayton picks since 95, 96.
yeah.
I've been using the same Clayton picks ever since. I just keep getting. I switched to the bigger triangle ones, but yeah, I tried a bunch of different ones, and then a friend of mine turned me on. He says, "Here, try these picks." I just started out, and I just loved it immediately, and that's the one I've been using since.
Yeah, you got to
Nice.
find something that feels good. When I first started playing, I was using some of the thin picks.
Yeah, really.
The really thin ones.
Fender,
That,
Yeah.
Fender thin, which there's
Yeah.
nothing to them.
you gotta-
Because if I tried to use anything else, if I was lucky, it would flip out. Usually,
Yeah.
it flipped right into my guitar,
Yeah, right.
and I gave up. I would basically. I could use my guitar like a maraca before I'd finally say, okay, it's time to get them all out. Because I'm like, I'm not going for just one because that's not an easy thing to deal with. So,
Yeah.
but as I've gotten more comfortable with what I'm doing and figuring out that wrist action for strumming.
Yeah.
I've gone to more medium ones that feel real good.
Mhm.
And haven't flipped a pick in a while. You played my guitar.
Yeah.
Was it last week? And you flipped a pick. I was like, oh, and we
I was
thought
like,
it'd gone inside the
what
guitar.
the happened? It was funny. I was practicing a while ago with my stage guitar, and I pick flipped into it. I was like, oh my gosh! And I hardly ever do that. I'm like,
Mhm.
damn. So I grab another one. I get to church that Sunday, and I decided to use that guitar, and I realized I didn't bring a pick. I was like, man, and I went to pick up. I said I should go check the car, and when I picked up my guitar I heard a rattle and went, oh, that's right, I never got that other one out. So I'm sitting there getting it out, and my wife is staring at me, going, "What are you doing?" I
Oh,
said,
you look dumb as all
Oh,
get
yeah.
out. It's the worst thing in the world.
and of course, my wife says it. My wife's part of the praise and worship team too, so she says it into the microphone so that everybody starts watching me now, who's there during the rehearsal. And I'm like, I need to get the pick out of the guitar. She goes, why? I went, because I forgot one. And then she just lit it. All those picks I find all over the house, and you forget to bring one.
Oh man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's-
So yeah, you mentioned girlfriend. Be
Yeah.
careful.
It's a musician thing, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If they ever built a guitar that sounded as good as any acoustic, but had a little door that you could open on the backside, reach in.
Yeah, they've got all kinds of things that you can stick on there and have, but it just, yeah, it doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah. I took one of the one of those little plastic pick holders.
Yeah.
Holds several picks on a little
Oh,
spring-loaded deal.
they'll stick to there. if
Yeah,
you want to.
I've got it sick on my concert. Never had to do it with this one because I've gotten to a point that I don't throw them that
Yeah.
much. So
Mm.
I have one of those devices. God, I've had this since '98. It's made out of hard plastic, and you just
Yeah.
pop it onto the thing, and you can
Yes.
stick the picks in there. I always have a bunch of picks in there, and if I don't use that, I end up dropping one. But every time I have that on there, I haven't dropped. I usually don't. The first time I did it without that, I was practicing and I dropped one practicing. I went to go dig into my bag to grab it because I was like, no. And it looks cool when you're up there with all those picks up there.
Mhm.
see, and I actually have one of those, and I bought it, and I guess what I have told a few people. Well, I'm preparing for one day I may be playing in public at some point, and it'd be nice to have something like that set up. The truth is, I went to see Midland perform in El Paso just before the lockdowns and everything, and yeah, they had those up there, and he'd play for a while, he'd throw it out on stage, and he'd pick up another pick off the thing, and it would get down to like 2 picks left, and a roadie comes out while he's playing. He comes running up and starts loading them up, and I was like, that's just the coolest thing in the world. I got to have one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I really wanted to have one of the roadies, but yeah, that's a little more
Down the line. A little more down the line.
You watch those old videos of Kiss, and that they were known to do that. They
Oh,
use
yeah.
a pick for about maybe 4 chords and then throw it into the audience.
Mhm.
And I saw a recent video of Ace Frehley, and he still does that. He still plays and throws the picks out there, grabs another, and just keeps throwing them out there.
Yeah.
If you're gonna give out stuff on stage to souvenir sort of stuff, that's the cheapest way to go.
Oh yeah.
Even if you're having special ones made up with like your name and all on them.
Mm.
Eddie Van Halen played at a celebrity golf tournament one time, and then the commentators were talking about how he goes, this is the coolest thing because you constantly see people stopping him to get their autograph and stuff, and they're trying to be nice. Eddie Van Halen had it perfect. He handed out picks that had his autograph on it and had the Van Halen logo on one side, and he just handed those out. He had a big bag, and he just kept a bunch in his pocket, and somebody came up, he handed him a pick, and he goes, now that is ultra cool. You'll never see from any golfer on the tour.
True.
Right. That's cool.
So talking about different artists, you've already said that you've been inspired by John Mayer.
Mhm.
Kind of made that connection between the two. Who are you listening to right now that's really catching your attention?
So I like a pretty eclectic
Good.
music that I listen to that I really like. There's some indie artists like Mac DeMarco and Tame Impala,
Mhm.
names you might be familiar with that I
Yeah.
really like. And then I'll go listen to Bob Dylan and James Taylor.
I wondered about Dylan because I pick up a lot of that in what you play.
Yeah. So I like that folky songwriter stuff. There was another singer, Ryan Adams, that I really liked.
Yeah.
He's not as prominent these days.
No,
He got into trouble.
yeah.
But he's still a good songwriter. But yeah, and then I still like some of the heavy metal stuff. I still like to put that in rotation. It's good exercise music.
Mhm. Oh God,
There's-
yes, yeah.
Get you pumped up. So I like some of that, and never been super well versed in country and stuff, but I was really listening to Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain by Willie Nelson, and that was a really pretty song.
Isn't that it's a nearly perfect song?
And yeah, I never been super into like hip hop and stuff either, but Mac Miller was an artist that passed away a couple years ago, and he
Mhm.
was really big with my generation. And his last two records, the latest one was like posthumously, but they were kind of getting away from hip hop, and they were more songwriters, more song stuff.
Right.
And John Mayer played on one of his songs and stuff. So there's
I
like,
didn't know that. That's cool.
yeah. So there's cool. There's a lesson to be learned from everything, and there's a good thing in everything, you know.
Right.
But yeah, obviously I'm a guitar player, and I like like intricate guitar playing, but there's a line where it's like, you know, where some of that really crazy stuff is like, okay, it's fatiguing, you know. But
Right.
Um,
and you don't want to get so caught up in the technical stuff that you lose the feeling, especially with your own music.
yeah,
I kind of made that mistake.
I've seen Eric Johnson play a couple times.
Yeah.
My friend Joey, who lives here, Joey Arona, he used to work at Mountain View, or not Mountain View, but the Co-op, the grocery
yeah.
store.
Yeah.
And Eric Johnson walked in there and bought a sandwich,
Oh my
and he
God.
has his picture with Eric Johnson.
Oh my God.
That's
And he was
cool.
not a fan of him like I was, but I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's insane, because I guess they live in Austin, and I guess this was on the road. But
Right.
yeah, he's really cool. And my dad was a big Pat Metheny guy.
Oh my God. Yeah.
He's real cool.
I haven't heard that name in forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to. He hasn't toured around here, but it'd be really cool to see him before he hangs it up too.
Right.
But you do really great Men at Work,
Oh yeah.
and
Colin
in
Hay.
in 2019, yeah, it was kind of in the middle of I was kind of had a little downtime in between all my treatments and craziness, and Ringo Starr was coming to Santa Fe.
Oh
And
yes.
we had bought tickets for it, and I thought that we weren't going to get to go, but it so happened that we could go.
Oh, that's
And
great.
so me and my parents
Yeah.
went, and it was Ringo and his all-star band.
Yeah,
So
and Colin Hay was with them.
Colin Hay,
God.
Oh, there
and
were some stories out of that tour.
Steve Lukather of Toto on
Uh-huh.
guitar,
Oh, wow.
Greg Rowley of Santana on keys,
Oh man. Yeah.
and they all played their hits.
yeah,
as
it just
well,
rotated around, and
I
Ringo would
was
be
like,
playing. There was
playing
this-
on the
yeah.
and that was really cool. That was one of my favorite concerts for sure. He's
Colin Hay tells a story about how they were hanging out in the dressing room, and Ringo walks in, and he goes, "What's going on in here?" And he's like, "Man, Ringo's just coming to hang out with us," because they figured, he's going to stay in it.
yeah.
And he looks over at Colin and goes, "Hey, tell us a story." And Colin's like, "You're Ringo. You tell a story." And he goes,
No.
"Oh, I know all of my stories."
It's very surreal to see
Yeah.
the man himself run up on stage, 80 years old, doing jumping jacks.
Yeah, and he's
singing.
still. It doesn't look it, man. He's playing just up there doing it.
Oh yeah.
And then you got guys like, I keep mentioning Sammy Hagar at 73. He's still rocking.
He really doesn't look like he's
He doesn't
73.
know.
No.
Man. And it's just great. So to hear, there was a big thing on the Beatles satellite channel where they were talking about this real intricate drum fill that he did, and that it was so interesting how he come up with it. And he basically told him, he plays a right-handed
And kid
kit,
plays
but he's
left-handed.
left-handed, and he had to do it that way because he couldn't get his hand over quick
Mhm.
enough. So he just did it that way. And it's like, they think that he had this whole reason, I just couldn't do it that way. So I had to do it this way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did y'all watch Get Back?
I am in the middle of it.
It's a long.
It's
come
long.
out-
long,
huge.
but
Yeah.
it is so intriguing.
Yeah, and it really paints that era differently.
Yes.
It was really talked up to be such a negative and
Yeah.
toxic thing, and it really
They had a great time. I love when they brought in the keyboard player,
Yeah. Preston.
Preston. Yeah. And
Yeah.
they were messing around, and and from the beginning, John Lennon saying this would be better with keyboards, but who's going to put down a guitar to play keyboards and stuff? And then they're sitting there, and all of a sudden they find out this guy, every time he's in town, he comes over to hang with them. So they say, hey, feel like playing something? He goes, yeah, sure. So he sits down, starts playing. He can see the looks on their faces going, that's it.
Yeah.
So they got him to record with him.
And the bits like where John and Paul walk out of the room and have a private conversation, and the crew has put a microphone in the flowers on the table. Like
when they were discussing the whole thing about going to talk to
George
because he had quit.
He was upset.
He literally left and went home, and they admit, and it was neat to see them admit, you know what, we probably could handle things better.
Yeah.
And the one thing that bugged me was, you notice that Yoko was sitting there all the time, sitting next to him. It's like, why is she sitting there?
Yeah.
You're kind of catching on to like, I can't see it now.
Yeah, it's one of those things you're like, I know what that's all about.
Yeah, but I was definitely a Peter Jackson fan and was excited for that.
Yeah.
And
He's
seeing
amazing.
them A/B the original footage to how much modern technology has been able to make it look so much better is wild.
Yeah.
They brought in George Harrison's recording unit, and needed a big old truck to bring it in, and threw 4 guys. And I'm sitting there going, nowadays this play like this big, like his.
Right there. That's the whole deal.
It's like that thing does probably as much, if not more, than that whole big console did.
Yeah. You mentioned Willie Nelson earlier, and it's been in my head because there was an album. It's like, you get a chance to listen to this as a songwriter. An amazing album. It came out in 2012, and it took me a minute to find it because I was listening to it like crazy for a while, and I lost it. It's called Heroes. Willie Nelson. It's a bunch of newer music. He does stuff with Merle Haggard. He does a song with Snoop Dogg. I ain't kidding. It's called Roll Me Up.
Surprise.
Yeah.
And he does a lot of music with his son Lucas Nelson.
Okay, yeah. And he's a working artist.
Yeah. And the lyrics that they come up with, whether or not you like the music style, whether you not like the way it sounds, just the words are just, listen to the way he writes is amazing. He's one of those guys that I always go to school on. So
and one other in that realm that I was new to learning about was John Prine.
Oh yes,
because there's such a purity to what he does, and it's all about the words and the spirit of it. And
a bunch of his stuff doesn't even rhyme. It just it's whatever fits the feel.
And he seemed like a really cool artist. And
a blast. Because he would do stuff that would just tear your heart out. I remember everything. It's just it kills you to hear that song because it's like, oh, that's somebody at the end of their life looking back. And then he turns around and does something like what is the song about? Going to heaven and
when I get to heaven.
When I get to heaven, I'm gonna smoke a cigar. I'm gonna smoke a cigarette 2 miles wide. And it gets goofy, and he goes back and forth between those so well, and it's all just well written stuff. I'm glad that people are getting to notice him now. Because he's one of these artists that for years and years nobody knew who he was. We had a night at Little Toad that a guy came out and played, and he played some John Prine. I was
cool.
I had to go talk to him afterwards. It's like, damn, you don't hear that. And it's scary to get up and do a John Prine song because you want to do it justice. And I haven't gotten that brave. I've actually just started playing a Townes Van Zandt song, so that's my level at this point. And I'm still nervous about that. So, cool. Prine was awesome.
Also want to throw in JJ Cale.
Oh
yes.
Also kind of in the similar vibe of being cool and being mellow and not really being a star,
No. If you're not paying attention to songwriting, you're not going to know who he is, but you know his music. Eric Clapton did a tribute album to him and his music.
Which John Mayer is on quite a bit. I listen to that a lot. And Tom Petty's also on that, and a lot of people. That's
a brilliant album, And I'm sorry. We can geek out on songwriters all day here. So many people are like, who are they talking about?
I know.
Sorry. I was talking here a couple of weeks ago about was Marianne Singleton. Chris Singleton's wife, who, as good as he is, her career is just huge as a songwriter. She's written for everybody, in and out of Nashville. So it's I kind of get into the whole songwriter thing As I've mentioned here, I'm almost done. I'm on season 5 of 6 seasons total. I've been binging the crap out of Nashville.
Oh yeah.
And you want a show that focuses on elements of songwriting? There's a bunch of that show that takes place with people sitting around writing songs together, which
Mhm.
is cool to see. And it's like, it's scary at the same time, because like, is it really like that? Because writing with other people gets a little scary.
Yeah.
Again, it depends on
Yeah.
who it is you're writing with,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you just get together with the right people and it can just flow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
It is difficult though.
we are talking about the possibility of putting a small group together of people to
That's
do
right.
a little songwriter workshop at some point. So
Oh, cool.
um,
Well, that'd be really nice.
don't know how it's going to work, because nobody involved has ever done anything like that before. So it's going to be a case of, we're going to try it. If something doesn't work, we're going to stop doing that and try something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, Damian was actually the first one that brought that up to me.
Oh,
We've been
cool.
talking about that. We talked about it on the show last week with Zita Sherrill was on with us.
Mhm.
Because writing is like, I tried, and I admire the people that just sit there and go, yeah, I wrote, just came up with this, and they came up, and I'm like, I know I take songs that I like, and I'll like, you know what, I'm going to do it this way because it fits me better.
Yeah.
But coming up with something from nothing, I'm having so much trouble doing that.
And I'm itching so hard to see what you've written. I'm trying not to push
It's like
you.
I have one song that's taken me 10 years to write.
And I'm wondering if it's a case that, you just got lost somewhere along the way. Or is this song actually either finished or close to being finished and you just don't realize it?
It's
that
one of those that
Yeah.
I had it and I finished it and I wrote it down. I'm like, how did this go?
Mm.
This is one of those things where I started it and then, you had to put it aside because all these other things are going on and stuff. And then I keep going back to it. And then lately I want to go. What was the tempo? What was it? So I got to figure that out again.
So Taylor, when you're writing, what sort of process do you go through? What sort of time period? When do you decide a song is done, or do you?
Yeah, that's a hard one, and it's a little different every time.
Mhm.
Since I was so new to writing lyrics and singing, like, my first handful of songs in this vein were very much I would just compose the music, just get a chord progression, get it recorded, start building up the track, and then hopefully by that time at least the title would come to me. And then with the painstaking process starting to work through that. And recently I usually come up with the title of a song that I think would be cool. If there's a song called this, or I think of the chorus or a chunk, like the tag or like, the hook or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I start recording the song around that. And then when I'm ready to do the vocals is when I really make myself finish writing the verses and all that. But yeah, sometimes like that 25 song that was really easy. That came together quickly. And there's other ones where I'm just like, this is not happening right now, and I have to take a step back and then revisit it fresh after you've worked on something else or taken a break. And sometimes that's what you need to help you do it. But I try to set some kind of deadline. If I'm going to put a new record together, or it's like I haven't put anything out in 6 months, I need to get a song out. So it's like we're going to get this done in this couple week window when I have the time to do it, and things like that. But yeah, but it's a little different every time, and it's writing a song doesn't make you any really much more prepared to write the next one.
Right.
Each one is its own thing, and it's like you get a little better at knowing what to do when inspiration strikes, but it's still a challenge of
it's not working in a factory and just putting the next
more
mold
and more
on.
efficient. It's tough every time for sure, but when you get on the back end of it, you're so happy you got a new song. You feel on top of the world for a little while,
Yeah, and most of the time it's kind of exciting to share it.
Yes.
So sometimes it's a little
nerve-wracking.
daunting. Yeah, nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
You're letting
too.
people see a piece of you that it's not normal for people to share on that
Yeah.
level with a room full of strangers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this isn't like going to to a therapy group or something. This is walking into a room with strangers and saying, hey, let me share my pain with you. let me
Yeah.
share my inner thoughts and my inner wants.
Right.
uh
Very true.
so yeah, I'm looking forward to listening to this, because I'm sure there's songs on here that I haven't heard, because you've only played so many originals that I've heard when you've been
Mhm.
out. So
Yeah.
So it's like we're getting, we got about 15 minutes left, so we got to
Oh
hear at
my.
least one more song. So let me ask
Yeah.
you: is there a song that I like to ask everybody this? Is there a song that when you go out and play, there's that one song that you have to play it whenever you go out? You'll switch out other ones, but this one you have to play. Is there that one
Mhm.
song?
That's a tough one. It's usually 25 is usually
Yeah.
like my one that I got to do, but we can do this song. Let's see. We'll do Learn to Love.
Okay.
The song's called Learn to Love. Can we learn to love? Can we hope to see all the broken-hearted people finally find peace? Don't wanna believe it's just meant to be. Can our voices rise above to make history? Today I read the saddest thing. 10 little lives lost their fight today, and we can't let their loss be in vain. If we ever want this world to change, can we learn to love? Can we hope to see all the broken-hearted people finally find peace? I don't wanna believe it's just meant to be. Can our voices rise above to make history? And waking up is the hardest part. How do we move on when others won't even start? And holding on to what we think we need sends us back down a road I can't even see. Can we learn to love? Can we hope to see all the broken-hearted people finally find peace? I don't wanna believe it's just meant to be. Can our voices rise above to make history? Can we? And I don't know how to shake this empty feeling, something I can't really make peace with. Hoping for someone to come make things right when they can't even get themselves. And I can see that you're scared, and I know that time isn't always on your side. We can go farther than we know if we try, and I know that we're gonna survive. Can we learn to love? Can we hope to see all the broken-hearted people finally find peace? I don't wanna believe it's just meant to be. Can our voices rise above to make history? Can we learn to love? Can we hope to see all the broken-hearted people finally find peace? I don't wanna believe it's just meant to be. Can our voices rise above to make history? Can our voices rise above to make history?
Cool,
Nice.
man. Very cool.
Very cool.
Man, this has been fun today.
Yeah,
That was great.
Thank you.
Like I say, I've been wanting to get you on here for a while. And,
Yeah,
and you're the one that actually came up and was talking to me. You've been listening, we've been watching the show. I was like, wow, I didn't know
yeah,
anybody
because
was
I
watching
had
this.
Facebook and tuned in, and
That's
then
cool.
I clicked
Yeah.
on a bit, and then I heard y'all talking about me. I was like, well, hell, I'll come on. That's really cool. That's nice
Yeah.
that people are paying attention
Yeah.
and stuff.
Oh yeah.
That's really cool. Definitely appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thanks for
It's
having me
it's been fun having the different musicians, different personalities, and different
Mhm.
styles. It's
Yeah.
just it's great to do that, and it's definitely a style we have not heard before.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's
And
great.
you know, it tends to be the thing out here that I've noticed with musicians. Nobody thinks anybody's paying attention to them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We've got a band that came on a few weeks back, and I forget their new name. They were Freeway Jam until they found
Yeah.
out that somebody else had that name, so they changed it
Mm.
up to Something Blue.
Mhm.
Forget what the name was. Something Blue would be a great name
Yeah.
for a band, but anyway, um, they came up. They only play instrumentals.
Mm.
Stuff like, you know, Jeff Beck, Satriani,
Yeah.
this
Oh,
sort
yeah.
of stuff.
He's played a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Really good. And they were like, well, I don't even know if anybody's going to like us at open mic because, you know, we don't have a vocalist, we don't sing,
Right.
we just play these songs, and that's not what people normally want to hear. So I don't think anybody's going to like us.
Oh, it
Well,
was great.
They had a guy there from a bar in El Paso. By the way, I talked to Danny again this weekend, and they on the spot, he signed him up for like 3 gigs.
Nice.
He's now decided he wants some regular in his bar.
That's
So
cool.
you never know who's listening and who's paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, more people are than you realize.
Yeah. Very cool. Very nice.
So yeah, and you've been playing all over the place. So you know you've got a little bit of a feel for that.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely.
Yeah, you've got to play more out here because yeah, I'm kind of getting to a point that I can get back out to music again.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
been a tough couple of months.
And it's warming. It's warming up. So
It's warming up. More
Yeah.
people are coming out. So yeah.
And then they're going to start having more events regularly and
Yeah.
be more comfortable to be at those events. So,
Yep.
so things are coming back in a good way. So it'll be a fun spring as long as it's not windy all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, you know,
It's just so you guys gotta, hopefully it'll turn around. I know there's a lot of places I played last year that, you know, early in the spring and it was cold, it was windy, and I'm still out there. So you just gotta fight through it, and then you get to
Yeah.
those really good ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I feel like fighting through it and stuff.
Yeah.
Playing to nobody or playing to 5
Yeah.
people, that's just
Absolutely.
part of it. And
Right.
that makes you
Yeah.
better for it.
and there's sometimes you're playing for a smaller crowd and you get more of a reaction because there's less people there, so
Yeah.
it feels more like a direct
Yeah,
conversation.
You're connecting with them.
Which, yeah, I've gotten to experience that a little bit now, and it's different.
Mm-hmm.
It's good, but it's also kind of scary because you realize, oh, these people know me now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't just get up there and play a little bit and say, yeah, that's my music. See ya.
The coolest thing is when I got up to open mic one day, and I was about to play a song, and Red came up and he goes, "Hey, you have a request." I went, "A what?" They want to hear you do it. I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
That was new.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool that they're paying attention like that. I'm trying to get better about eye contact and stuff, but for when I'm nervous, I just stare at the back of the ceiling.
Right.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know what that's like. I have a story I tell when I played in a production show. One of my first shows was a big cast, and the director says, "Go out to the stage." It was a place we hadn't been before. And he said, "Go out to the stage and get your bearings and get your points." And I'm like, whatever that means. So I go out there and I look, so I know where I have to, watch it where I
Mhm.
stand. And some of the kids are going, "Okay, well, look, use that picture, the clock." I'm like, "What are you doing?" Well, we're getting our focus points. Focus points. It's what we look at so that we don't have to look at the audience. And like,
Yeah.
oh, and they go, "What do you look at?" And I went, "The audience."
Yeah.
I feed off of that. And then a lot of
Yeah.
people look at me like, "Really?"
Mhm.
You gotta. So yeah, I was like, this is gonna be hard. And my director came by and he goes, "We're hoping you'll kind of influence them." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Because you just look right at people and you can just, especially when you're doing a room full of kids,
Mm,
100 kids, because they're very, very honest.
Oh, yeah.
If they like you, they'll let you know.
Mhm.
If they don't like you, they will let you know.
yeah.
And even if they would normally like you, but you're not paying any attention to them, you're looking at anywhere but them. Yeah, they're not gonna like you.
Mhm.
You're showing that you don't care about them at all.
Yeah.
So
I had a
yeah.
guy. We had a guy that was doing a ballad during the show one time. And he was up there singing. And he's really, and all of a sudden you hear this. "This is boring."
Oh my goodness.
Uh-huh.
Oh wow! Then I go out there and do the song La Bamba.
Mhm.
Yeah, I made the mistake of saying "sing with me" during the last chorus, and
Mhm.
yeah, I didn't even. There's no way they were hearing me. They were so. I'm like, I have a microphone. You guys are louder.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
So yeah, the audience, it can freak you out or it can feed off of it, and hopefully you'll get to the
Yeah.
point where you'll be
Mhm.
comfortable. You just got to keep going.
Mhm,
Yeah.
Just gotta keep doing it.
absolutely.
And I've been getting to see that evolution in you because the first time that I heard you play, I came up and talked to you a little bit, and I came away thinking this is there's going to be people who are going to think that he's kind of stuck up or standoffish, and he says, and I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, I know what's going on with him because it's what goes on with me. You weren't comfortable talking, especially since you moved here and didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that's changed,
Mhm.
and you've gotten a lot more comfortable as you've been not only performing but talking to people,
Yeah.
interacting with people, and that's a cool thing to see because
Absolutely.
yeah, most of us don't bite, and if we do, you got to ask first. Occasionally, you have to pay extra. That's maybe that's only my experience.
Jeez.
But yeah. You're making a lot more contact with the audience, and your songs are hitting hard that
Yeah.
way. I actually sang for a local Christian contemporary singer when I was in college, one of his backup singers, and I got in trouble because I was making eye contact with the audience, and apparently he didn't want his backup singers doing that. That was for him alone. Stare at some point that was never talked about, so basically we could all be just looking at different places and
Staring off.
yeah.
Wow.
I'm just like, okay,
That's interesting.
but yeah, you got to make that contact, and
Mhm.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I remember going to see AC/DC, and you talk about a guy that it's like Brian Johnson was just absolutely amazing. I mean, he was so focused on the crowd. I mean, he was like they were with him, and he was feeding off of that. And just he had such a connection to the audience. Performers like that, it's just so cool, and it is a lot of fun when you get to do that.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting better because I'm memorizing a little bit more of my songs to where I can look away from my book more and more, because it was really great with them. One time I was playing a song from Stone Temple Pilots that I didn't think anybody heard. Oh, look, and this lady singing every word with me. I was like, no way.
That's cool.
So I just kind of raised my eyebrows. She looks at me and goes, yes.
Yeah, the only thing you got to watch out is don't get distracted so much
Yeah.
that you lose what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At open mic when Dwight was singing with me, I was doing a song and Dwight started singing back up with me, and I'm like, wow, that sounds really cool. Oh crap, I'm still playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've seen seasoned musicians do it too, so it's not just people who are first experiencing that, because I've seen CW Ion on stage do that before. he'll kind of lose his way because he gets, and you see it, because when he gets caught up in the music, it just he changes, and he starts moving differently, and it's obvious that he's not completely in control. He's being swept along, and it's cool to see somebody who's seasoned and who's been doing this a really long time that'll do that too. It's like, okay, maybe it's not that big a deal if I screw up some notes, because I was watching people and their reactions.
There's an element of autopilot that's there after a while, but still, you're still human.
Yeah. You got to watch out with the autopilot too, because you don't want to. It's a horrible feeling for me. I've had that a couple of times. It's like, wait a minute, have I just played the same verse twice? No, I'm just remember the song now. So.
Right.
I know I had to dump a song when I was halfway through, going, "Oh my gosh, I'm bored. I'm bored, and I'm the one playing it."
That's not good. People pick up on that.
Like, get through it, they find that, yeah. It's like, that's one of my favorite songs. I can tell. That's neat. That's neat when they say, "Oh yeah, it's one of my favorite songs to do." Yeah, I can tell, and that's really cool to see.
Well, Taylor, thanks for coming out.
Thank you so much. And again, the upcoming show you have is
TRC Brewing in TRC, opening for the Cast Outs.
Cool.
And I will be possibly seeing you guys at open mic tonight.
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe.
We are on baby watch.
Oh, okay.
So
that's right.
My daughter is at the hospital right now.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We're
you got stuff.
We're on baby watch.
Yeah.
So I'll be with my other granddaughter. I'll have her and keeping her occupied until mom gets home.
And hopefully I won't get completely lost. I was up until all hours last night because I started writing and I couldn't stop. And I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know if it's any good. It's way higher than what I normally sing. And I can't wait until I can do a happy song because everything is just, it's like, wow, here's another level of misery for me to put out for people to listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Great.
I'm just like, yeah, I kind of want to give people some lithium whenever I get up and play at an open mic, just in case.
Right.
If you need this, here it is. But yeah, you're out at Little Toad quite a bit playing.
Mm-hmm.
So
And I'll hopefully be back in the next couple of weeks back to NM Vintage for their Monday night jam.
Cool.
And I'll be out and about around town here and there. And if you want to go to my website, I've got all my shows, the schedule there. So would love to see you out there and connect.
and
Great.
it's TaylorPaul.net.
Yeah.
TaylorPaul.net.
Yeah, TaylorPaul.com. That domain was pretty expensive. So,
Yes. Yeah.
so I went with the net for now.
There you go.
It works.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well,
Well,
great.
thanks so much.
Yeah, thank
you.
you guys. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah,
This is very
absolutely.
cool. Appreciate it.
Definitely.
And we'll
Cool.
be seeing us again next week.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. We'll
Yeah,
be
we'll
back
be
next
back.
week. Yeah, you can't get away from our crap. And actually, next week will be the first Wednesday of the month.
Yes.
And I have on as good authority as I can because it came straight from Trevor.
Okay.
He's planning on being back.
We're
It's
to
gonna
keep the
get-
reins back.
Oh, it's going to get so nerdy.
Yeah, I know.
We've got so much to talk about, including a new show that's not a nerdy, just huge
Very
in the
cool.
nerd community.
Mm.
So yeah,
All
there's a
right.
lot going on. All right.
All right. We'll see you then next week. Take
Yeah.
care, everyone.
Have a good
Okay.
week.